pre-race notes that will happen for the third race of the season. It is a bit long, but the biggest news report that came out is that NOVAR President Ike Kendall Jr. announced that the qualifying races will have some sort of rule revisions that will be experimented for the qualifying races of this race, California, and Chicagoland. All these rules state that the first one states that the car that leads the most lap is automatically guaranteed a spot in the race after there was controversy that went around that in some cases cars that are leading the most laps end up somehow finishing outside of the top 12 boundary zone. If they fall out of that zone, they will automatically be guaranteed a spot no matter what, as this rule will not be applied for the road course event. The maximum amount of drivers for the past champions provisionals will be bumped to 4. For this weekend, only Michael Scott and Brian Kittleson are the only drivers that are not locked in. And then any cars outside the top 30 that are not locked in and are tied for the 30th place driver or another place driver around that area is locked in. They will be considered locked in. This rule will not be experimented around with a lot. However, this rule came up to pop for this weekend, as Scott Harper is tied for the 29th position in points, and Mark Mungillo's car number 56 is tied for the 29th position in owners points. The final rules will be confirmed at the series' 7th race at Kentucky. And now for the last week's event. Last week was at Atlantic City Speedrome. That race saw pretty much what it saw last year. Was a bit of a wreck fest with some action towards the end. However, unlike last year, this race did not have a last lap pass. Instead, it was a drag race. Instead, it was a intense race that Cameron Brooks got a run off turn 2, and that's what pretty much propelled him to the win. As for the other races that he has participated in, as for the other races that happened at the track this weekend, the Truck Series race happened here, and Dalton Sama pretty much had the win sealed up until his car ran out of gas coming to the white flag. Simona could not make it around, so Blaise Donnell and among other drivers had to race it out for the win, and Brian Donnell ended up taking the victory as a result of that one. The NOVAR Gatorade Series race saw a more competitive race, as that run had about 6 yellow flags. In the end, Allie Thompson makes a last lap pass to take the win here for her first career NOVAR Verizon Gatorade Series win, and also the first win for Random Classic Motorsports organization. And now I'm going to head it off to Kendall Johnson for the race. Thanks, Jerry. The Aflac pole, we'll go to car number 14 of Luke Warren. Warren, who is actually won the pole at another track similar to this at Kansas and won at Columbia last year. He leads with Carson Brooks, car number 75 on the outside. Daniel Salmon at third, and then Matt is in the third spot, and the fourth is Brian Dawson in the 64. The 14 of Warren gets a pretty good start, as at least he holds on to the lead, but car number 77 of Max Rapon is going to get pushed his way into the lead, and looks like Rapon will get to the lead and lead the first lap. Eddie Johns, the Dennisville 250 winner, gets up to second with Shane Bliss, gets to the lead as Shane Bliss follows behind. So it looks like the racing here this is how exciting the racing would get here, as it can get very wild. Sometimes you can go 3 wide here as long as you don't wreck. Toshiro Hesito at car number 97 is going to take the lead away, as Eddie Johns bounces off the wall, and car number 97 would lead this lap. However, when I said 3 wide can work anytime, you got to pay attention. First caution would fly, actually an incident would fly on lap number 5, as Sean McDowell gets pushed up into the wall and bounces off the wall. No damage done to the 07. However, there was damage to the first caution. Jake Kelly gets turned by the 12, Michael Scott, and then Daniel Salmon spins, and he gets on his side! So car number 99 gets on his side and comes back down on all 4. So here's another angle. Daniel Salmon, he gets spun, gets clipped by the 55 Eddie Johns. Corey Von Delga, Scott Johnson. Let's see, I can't tell who just in there, but there was also another wreck that happened up ahead. Here's what happened. The 98 and 17 will make contact. Garrett Fisher will get turned in. And then Brian Gilson, Matt Trapon, and Shane Harden, and what are they doing? As they all make contact, the 77-53, they roll down the racetrack. The 77 would be on his roof. And Kittleson would have actually kept theirs. Mongillo sliding. Here is from Brian Kittleson's perspective. Shane Harden and Walter Youthen in the 8 are also collected in this. Harden came in as your points leader. Kittleson would roll back down on the racetrack, and there you see a bit more carnage going on. Kittleson would have continued on until that happened. Runs into the back of the 77 for no reason, and here's the incident towards the back. Luke Warren in the 14 gets turned around by the 6 of Scott Harper. The 14 would come back down, but nobody else would hit the 14 of Luke Warren. On the restart, car number 33, Cameron Brooks would lead on this restart with Shane Clark third and second, Chandler Blake third, Damon Scott fourth, and then Mac Hamlin in 28 and fifth. Shane Clark III's season has not started very well, as he's had to be forced to run into the qualifying races after crashing out at Dentsville, and he also crashed out in Atlantic City. However, tonight's a better run for the number 98 of Clark. As Chandler Blake, car 15, he's going to go for second. Right there as Ike Chase Jr., car number 09, who had a very strong car at Atlantic City. And then there's the 5 of Casey Littinger. Littinger is making his first NOVAR start. He has a younger brother, Ethan Littinger, who's currently in the Gatorade Series and one of the Smash Hit Sets series. And then Jamie Lynn, who is actually a Vizio IndyCar Series driver. Littinger will participate in the Vizio Indy 300. That will happen in late May. As you see, Chandler Blake, car 15, he will take the lead away from the number 33 of Cameron Brooks. And then Casey Littinger in the 5 will have his time to shine in the race lead. Brian Wilson in car number 90 will actually get up with the 5. As we have our next caution, Daniel Salomon and Shane Clark III make contact, and 18 gets on his roof. So David Scott in the 18, gets on his roof and will stay on there. So tough break for Damon Scott, who had a great start at Dentsville, but has crashed out of the past 2 events. And just like the last caution, we had another incident coming towards the caution. This time, Brian Wilson slides. Great slide, by the way. On the restart, Alan Kimmel, car number 88, would lead on this restart with Jonathan Winslow second, Mike Hogan third, Chandler Blake fourth, and Cameron Brooks in fifth. Right there. No, it's actually Ike Chase Jr. Winslow will get to the will breeze his way. Will get an easy breeze to the lead as he gets pretty much by the 88 of Alan Kimmel. The 15 of Chandler Blake is also there. Ike Chase Jr. in the 09 is also up there. There you see the 75 of Chandler Blake of Carson Brooks, as he is also right there, third car in line. And then you see Walter Green in the 39. Chandler Blake gets to the lead with Ike Chase Jr. comes in second. Ike Chase Jr. takes the lead. So a turnaround for Ike Chase Jr. goes from being one of the not being considered a championship contender to actually running up front. So Ike Chase Jr. is making a name for himself early. Oh, crash! Crash in front of them. Jonathan Winslow, Ike Chase Jr., Carson Brooks. They all start spinning, and we got more wrecking up ahead. As they all come down, and whoa, we got more wrecking up right behind them. Thomas Luries, and where in the world is the brakes in this accident? Here it is from another angle. Mike Hogan's perspective. Jonathan Winslow gets collected. And then they come back down the racetrack, and then Mac Hamlin drills into the back of the 7, and where is the brakes again? Isn't the brake pedal on the left and not into the back bumper of somebody else? But what I was saying, here's another accident. Kano Zuki, Jared Webler pinches the 56 of Mark Mongillo into the wall. So Mark Mongillo, who had all of his bad luck because of incidents not of his own doing. Jared Webler in car 17 would lead on this restart with Evan Brooks in second. Car number 07 is Sean McDowell third, and David Payton fourth. Fifth it was Scott Harper. And then Sean McDowell gets second to make Webler 1-2 tangle, and then maybe Webler and McDowell wanted that tango to happen the other way, as he passes Jared Webler with David Payton in the 24. up there in second, with Cameron Brooks in third. Peyton has had a pretty good season so far. Peyton's had a really decent season so far, and I can say that last week in Atlantic City he had a decent run. However, he got crashed out late in that race. And then you see Toshio Hensedo, the black number 97. We talked about her a lot in the Atlantic City event because of her strong performances, and tonight's no different, as she is going to go for the lead with Cameron Brooks, the last week's race winner, right there, as that is the top 7, I believe, breaks away from the entire pack. As you see, Hensedo will get to the lead right there under the 33, and then Sean McDowell will make another charge and get by the 33. Cameron Brooks has also been a strong driver this year. He had that terrible finish at Dentsville, and that's what prevented him from showing what he actually had. But meanwhile, there was a caution. Corey Von Delga and Sean McDowell get turned around. The 23 and 07 slide. 23 comes. Oh, hard hit for the 70 for the 23. Corey Von Delga gets hit from the 75. And last thing from Carson Brooks' perspective, just slams into the 23, and then comes back up, and then Ike Chase Jr. has nowhere to go. However, that was because he had nowhere to go. And then James Olsen Jr. in the 11 gets collected. And then there goes Aaron Fisher. However, it was not because of collision, because you see the 89 continue on. And whoa, there you see everybody flying by. Fisher, while trying to avoid the wreck, lost control, and it slams into the 09 and 75. And there you see everybody else just speeding through the apron. That is totally unnecessary. Walter Green and car number 39 will lead on this restart, with Brian Wilson in second. The third place man is, I think that is Blake Battagliana. Fourth is, actually I made a mistake there. Blake Battagliana second. Shane Bliss is in third. Right there, I made a little bit of a mistake right there. As you see, Blake Battagliana and Walter Green are also up there. Battagliana, just like David Payton, he had a great run. He had a really good race at Dentsville. Finished, I believe, in the 4th spot. And he crashed out on Atlantic City. And tonight's pretty much the same. Battagliana is in the same position as David Payton is in. However, there was another caution right behind them. Brian Dawson the 99 turns Brian Dawson 80, and the 99 spins. Payton gets up under the fence, and over goes car number 24. However, the pack's use of the brakes pays off, as it only is a 4-car crash. And if the brakes weren't used in that one, that would have been a lot bigger crash. Casey Littinger was collected as well. Gets clipped by the 99 and slides. So great usage by the brakes by everybody for at least using the brakes. If the brakes weren't used, then that would have been a bigger crash. On the restart, car number 50 of Blake Battagliana would be the race leader, with Walter Green second, the 7 of Mike Hogan is in third, and the 50s, and I can't tell who is in fourth, or third or whatever, but Battagliana in the 30, Blake Battagliana in the 50, and Walter Green in the 39, they would battle it out for a little while, until the leaders all caught up to them, as Battagliana, like I said, had a really strong start at Dentsville, and then crashed out of Atlantic City. Walter Green, on the other hand, has pretty much been bounced out as of now. I believe he crashed out at Dentsville, I believe, and I believe he ran about midfield in Atlantic City. But so far, these two are having a really good night, as both of them are side by side for the lead, and they will be doing this for a little while, as they're going to head off of turn 4, and car number 39 will barely emerge as leader. However, they would be continuing to do this for several laps, as and then meanwhile, both of them would eventually pit on lap 78, as nothing big would happen. However, Shane Bliss had a really strange problem. Has a right front go down and hits the wall. However, that does not bring on a yellow. Meanwhile, Toshio Hensedo has a good lead, and that makes the 97 have a really good lead. And he gets by Scott. Oh, Scott Johnson has a problem and takes out Hensedo. So car number 58 has a really strange problem. Apparently, a tire went down, and he takes out Toshio Hensedo along in the process. Some slight damage on the 97 as well. Rough cars would continue on, but that was just totally bullcrap. for Scott Johnson to do, as that did not even seem like a tire failure. Encino would lead on this restart with Shane Bliss in second, and this would pretty much be the only cars that would actually battle it out. Bliss is mirrored back in traffic, as the rest of the leaders are in front of the 97, because at the time they were doing green flag pit stops. But there you see Chandler Blake, as you see really slow lap traffic is in the way. That's Brian Wilson along there for the ride. As car number 97 gets by the 56 and 90. And then there you see Shane Bliss in the 42. He's right behind the 5 of Littinger. However, there was a debris yellow that came out with about 15 laps to go. I think it is, but unless if I'm saying it wrong, as the ticker shows the truth up there in the bar. As this would lead to some controversy, as Shane Bliss was the race leader, Gino Encino in second. However, the finish would not be dramatic, because these two, they would, despite having a really interesting battle with Jake Killen interfering them, there would be something interesting that nobody would really pay attention to, that people are going to get surprised at. There was, as you see, the 76 of Jake Killen is going to get by and lead the pack. However, he's not the race leader right there. Like I said, there was an interesting charge that happened. That actually happened right with these leaders, and it was led by the 50 of Blake Battagliano. Evan Brooks was also in this group as well, as Blake Battagliano, he would be chopping cars off. There you see, even though he got held up by the 5 right there. However, Littinger will be at least respectful, or maybe not, and just hold the 50 up even more and have Evan Brooks close the door. So this is all for the battle for 4th. Everybody else between Bliss and Encino are all lap cars, with the exception of Gordon Billard, who is right there in the picture, battling it out with Mark Mungillo for track position. As you see, they're gonna get by the 7 of Mike Hogan. They're gonna get by them, and then here's the battle. Here's the pass for 3rd between Evan Brooks and Gordon Billard in the number 91 Pontiac for the Red Bulls Racing Organization. They would all get to this group within a fury. They were all coming, as here comes Evan Brooks in car number 95. Gets to this. They're going to go 3 wide. Cameron Brooks, and I believe that's Walter Green. Also up there. They would get by Encino with just 3 laps to go. Car number 95 will get to the lead of this one. However, the race for the win is not over. Car 6 of Blake Foster would be up there. Of Scott Harper, excuse me. As I was referring about last year's drivers. Harper makes a strong charge. He gets to the middle line, and here comes Battagliano in the 50. Harper led that lap. However, car 50 of Blake Battagliano will get to the lead, as there will be, as this is with 2 laps to go, they're going to be heading to the white flag this time by. Cameron Brooks breaks free of that group, and Alan Kimmel in the 88 also up there. White flag is out. Final lap. Does Cameron Brooks have a charge to go for 2 in a row? The last driver to go to have back-to-back wins was Chandler Blake. He did it at Chicagoland and Gateway of 2010. Brooks is coming. He has one last chance. Entering 3. Kimmel goes down. Brooks goes down. Battagliano goes down. And out of 4, Blake Battagliano will win his first career NOVAR Verizon Cup Series race here at Las Vegas, with Cameron Brooks 2nd, Alan Kimmel 3rd, Scott Harper and Kano Zuki in 4th, and rounding out the top 5 was Scott Harper in the 66.